This is an Extra 106.3 podcast. To hear more live and local content like this, tune into 106.3 FM or download the Extra 106.3 app. Extra 106.3 and a Second Chance Bail Bonds are proud to bring you Justice Unfiltered. Real conversations with real people from every side of the justice system. From the latest in law and order to the voices of those impacted, changed, and working to make a difference. This is where truth meets transformation. Now, it's time for Justice Unfiltered, presented by a Second Chance Bail Bonds on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Welcome to Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3. My name is Tug Cowart, along with Daniel Matalon. He is the chairman, CEO of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. Today, we have a treat for you. We have Robb Pitts. He is the chairman of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Been in the position since 2017 before becoming the chairman. Served 12 years as a Fulton County commissioner where he focused on property tax relief. Thank you. Library funding, animal rights protection. Ain't nobody loves dogs more than I do. And economic development in South Fulton. Spent decades representing Atlanta on the city council for 12 years, chairing the finance and community development committees for most of that time. Council president from 97 to 01, where he championed tax relief. Thank you again for elderly residents, reduced sanitation fees, and an increased homestead exemption. Played a direct role in bringing the 96 Olympics to Atlanta, delivering the city's bid to the International Committee alongside Billy Payne. So we're 20 years. It's been 20 years ago now. No. What am I saying? 20 years. Been longer than that. Been 30 years, right? Since we were running around and the world had its focus on Atlanta. Man, when you reflect back 30 years ago, what do you remember most? The most exciting, the most fun? What do you remember most about the 96 Olympics there, Chairman Pitts?
That is a great question, and I can't believe it's been as long as it's been either. But the one memory that I have, and I traveled all over the world. I wasn't on it, since we was talking to sports, I assume, at some point.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't on the starting team. I was maybe the sixth man.
Okay, all right. Look, let me tell you. If you watch the NBA playoffs, any NBA champs, you got to have a good sixth man.
That's right. Sixth man. So anytime Andy couldn't go someplace, because his record and all that he was doing, but because of my knowledge of and involvement in international affairs, I was sort of chosen as the one to go when Andy couldn't go, representing us in our bid. So, but the one moment that he could not make it, and I got a call, it was a Wednesday afternoon, and my wife and I had planned to go to Acapulco that Friday. I got a call and said, guess what? Andy can't go to Switzerland. You have to go.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, you have to go with Billy Payne to deliver our bid. So, man, it took, magic to get the flights arranged, first of all. But I flew sort of all night, Atlanta, New York to, I forget where we landed, in a train and a bus and all of that to get there. Got to the hotel. Probably 3 o'clock in the morning. Billy Payne was waiting for me in the lobby. Took a quick shower, and the next morning, and that photograph is one of me and Billy rolling our bid into the International Olympic Committee that morning, and I will never, ever forget that memory. And we took a great photograph of the two of us with the entire Olympic Committee there. So, again, that's one that's just imprinted in my brain forever.
Oh, my gosh, such an iconic photo, Daniel. And everybody's seen it around the world. I just can't imagine having
two little country boys from Georgia now.
Hallelujah.
Who would have thunk it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Which is the coolest part. Being born and raised in Georgia, that means something to me, Chairman Pitts. I love the state of Georgia. I remember when I was in the Navy, I wouldn't even change my residency to Florida when I was stationed down there. I wasn't giving up my Georgia driver's license. They were like, well, you don't have to pay taxes if you just changed your license. I was like, I ain't doing it. That's how much being from Georgia means to me. So when you say that, I understand what you're saying.
It means a lot to me. I was born in Jones County, and you have to be from, actually a little town is called Haddock. Haddock is a little small place in the road between Gray and Milledgeville. We still don't have a stoplight. We do have a caution light now.
Yes, sir.
And one thing about
Moving
Haddock,
uptown.
that's right.
Uptown.
Oh, yeah, we getting there.
That's right.
But I'm actually going to be buried there. I already have my grandmother bought my little spot there. I go and look at it from time to time. So I am thrilled to have been born in Georgia, and I'm going to be buried in Georgia,
yes, sir.
in Haddock, Georgia.
God, I love it. I love it. I want to know more people that represent the community here in Atlanta and outside Metro Atlanta and then throughout the state. I want to know that those people feel like you do and feel like I do. That's important to me, and I think people that are born and raised in Georgia, that means something to them. I guess if you ain't born and raised here, maybe it don't mean as much, but let me tell you, if you are, it does. And so I just appreciate all you've done for this wonderful state, and we're proud of you. And still to this day, Daniel, 30 years later, you know
it's another little thought about that. As difficult as times were back in the day, segregation and all that stuff, you really didn't pay that much attention to it. The little town that I was born in, probably half black, half white. Black people didn't have anything. White people didn't have anything. Right. So we just shared. If we were sick, they came to see about us. If they were sick, we went to see about them. They didn't have anything to eat, and we did. We just shared. That's just the way it was.
It's funny you bring that up. I was born and raised in Northwest Georgia up in Dalton, and everybody works in carpet mills, and ain't nobody got anything. And so my daddy didn't know a thing about baseball, but they didn't have a baseball coach. And he was like, I'll do my best. And you know what? We went and picked up kids from all over the East Side community, and it was kids from everywhere. And Daddy would go pick them up in our little pickup truck. And we went out and played ball, and then we took everybody home. It was a community ball team, and everybody's parents had to work the same ways and the same hours. And so when somebody was off, they'd go pick up the kids, and then and it just went that. It's just the way it is.
Exactly
That's what community's supposed to be. I love that. I'm just God. It just makes me feel good to know that we see eye to eye on that. And you're going to be running for re-election, Fulton County Commission Chairman 2026.
Yes, sir.
I feel like everybody knows pretty much everything about you.
14 days from tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Because you have such a wonderful reputation, and so many people know, about the extraordinary things you've done. But maybe there's somebody listening that don't. Why should they vote for you?
Well, first and foremost, we're in some difficult times here, and I don't want to get too involved in national politics, but Georgia, the state of Georgia, and Fulton County in particular, we've been the target of Washington. There have been problems with President Trump and Fulton County, Georgia, based upon the 2020 elections, his belief, his feelings that somehow that election was stolen from him, and I can assure you that it was not. There was no orchestrated effort, no intentional effort to defraud him, to cheat him in any way. And if anyone would know, I would know, because I was there on that night. So I know everything that happened and did not happen. Then I think that he also probably still has some bad thoughts in his mind as to how he was treated by our district attorney, and also how he had, when he came here after he was indicted, had to come here and be fingerprinted and photographed, and from his perspective, embarrassed here in Fulton County. And I'm told that he actually has a copy of that photograph, his mugshot, if you will, outside of his office or inside of his office, and he just put it on coffee mugs and made money from it. So he's really coming after Fulton County at some point. So that is one of the reasons that I am going to stay here as long as I can to protect Fulton County and Fulton County, Georgia. I've told you how much I love this state, how much I love Fulton County, Georgia, and that. But the eyes and ears of the world, they were on us back then. They're going to be on back in 2020 and 2024. They're watching us again this year in 2026, and certainly in 2028. And I want to make sure that our elections are open, they're fair, and they're transparent, that every legal vote that's cast will be counted. And I can assure you that that's what's going to happen. So that's number one for me. But there are also some projects that I have been involved in that I have spearheaded. You got everybody and their mama now trying to take credit
right.
for them.
Isn't that the way it always works?
Yeah, and didn't have a damn thing to do with it. So.
Daniel, I bet it happens over the second chance. You come up with an idea, and then the staff's like, "Yep, I did it. That was me."
Yeah. But
I
kid. But a couple of things. First of all, on the south side, if you look at Fulton County, Georgia, The northern part of our county is pretty well developed. The middle part of the county is the city of Atlanta, pretty well developed. It's the southern part of our county that needs development, needs opportunity. There's a lot of land in the southern part of the county, and it's still relatively inexpensive. And the big thing that it offers is its close proximity to Hartsfield, Jackson,
Airport.
Atlanta International.
World's busiest.
That's exactly right. So there's work to be done in South Fulton County, and I've spearheaded, initiated several projects that I want to see completed. First and foremost, there has been a need for some time for quality health care in South Atlanta. In fact, if you live in South Atlanta, the southern part of Fulton County,
South Fulton,
you will die on average 7 years sooner than someone who lives in Atlanta or the northern part of the county, and that's not acceptable. So what's been lacking there has been quality health care. So the good news is as follows. My efforts, we have, in partnership with Grady Hospital, the 3-phase project program. We're going to open, in fact, not the groundbreaking, but the ribbon cutting in about 2 weeks for a freestanding emergency clinic in South Fulton County, operated by Grady Hospital, but funded jointly between Grady Hospital and Fulton County. And here's the statistic here. If you live in certain parts of South Fulton County, it would be quicker for you to drive to Macon, Georgia for emergency care than it would be to drive to downtown Atlanta to Grady. That's why this is so important. The second phase of this complex will be a freestanding medical office building, which will house all of the specialties. Gynecology, what do you call it now? Gynecology,
there you go.
Cardiology, urology, you name it. But also clinics that will deal with black women's health. And we're also in talks with CHOA, Children's Hospital, about them having a presence in this facility as well. And the third phase, which is the granddaddy of them all, will be a brand new 200-bed hospital in South Fulton County. And the people have been hoping and praying for that for years and years and years. But the light is at the end of the tunnel, and that hospital should be complete within the next 5 years. This comes, though, with a huge price tag, $900 million. County is putting in $300 million. Grady Hospital is putting in $300 million. And the Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority, they will be putting in $300 million. They'll be raising that through private donors and foundations and so forth. So that's one of the projects that I want to see completed. How much time we have? Got another one?
Well, hang on. We'll come back on that on the second thing that you want to get completed, because that was a great layout for people that maybe not know about some of the things you're doing. So the next thing that Chairman Pitts is working on, and the reason he's in to ask for your vote here on Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3.
This is Justice Unfiltered, presented by A Second Chance Bail Bonds on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Welcome back to Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3. My name is Doug Cowart, along with Daniel Matalon. He is the CEO and chairman of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring. We are fortunate to have a great guest in today in Fulton County Chairman of the board, Robb Pitts, and he went over the hospital and the plans, one of the big steps that he's taking and will be taking when he is reelected here as chairman of the Fulton County Commission. You said, Mr. Pitts, that there was something else that you wanted to go into right before the break. You had another big point you wanted to make.
Yeah, there's several problems, but another big one for the South Side. Everybody's heard of the botanical gardens in Midtown, Piedmont Park. Well, guess what? The county owned about 40-plus acres in College Park. About 20 of those acres just been sitting there for years. So I came up with the idea in consultation and collaboration with Councilman Roderick Gay from the city of College Park. And we put together a plan whereby, and it's under construction, it's coming out of the ground now. County provided the land, the College Park, the city of College Park provided the funding. There's going to be a brand new botanical gardens located in College Park, Georgia. Think about that. A comparable facility to what's in Piedmont Park now, located in College Park on the south side of Atlanta. And that is a really, really big deal, not only for Fulton County, but also for the city of College Park. Another one, we have our airport on the south side. Everybody's heard of PDK and Peachtree DeKalb Airport, and no disrespect to them. However, hold on.
Hold your horses. We got something to say.
That's right. Hold your horses. We have about $150 million investment going into our airport, and when it is done, it will be bigger, better, and finer than PDK.
Wow.
We're doing a couple of things. We're upgrading our emergency operations there. We are also going to be building our own customs facility at our airport. But the big deal there is we're expanding our airport, the runway, by 1,000 feet. And once that expansion is done, you will be able to fly directly from Charlie Brown Airport to Europe nonstop. And my friends, that is a big deal for Fulton County, Georgia.
That absolutely is.
So
that's a big deal.
That's huge.
One other, we talk about jobs, and people talk, the buzzword now is affordability. Affordability. Well, there's nothing wrong with affordability, but if you don't have a job, you can't afford anything.
That's right.
So I'm going a step further.
Right.
I've been working on,
that's right.
providing jobs for people, and I worked with Dr. Victoria Seals, who is the head of the Atlanta Technical College. She and I pretty much had the same vision, a school in South Fulton County. This school will be a truck driving and logistics school where we will train some 600 students a year, really high-paying jobs, six-figure jobs, truck driving and logistics. That is already coming out of the ground. Very proud of that, and that will be a huge economic development tool for the city of South Fulton, and that addresses affordability, because you don't have any money, you can't afford anything. Even if it's free, you almost can't afford it.
Yeah, because
so that's just a few of the things that I'll be working on.
No, it's spectacular, and Daniel, I know you're happy about Chairman Pitts being here to talk about it, because when you go through that hospital, you got the healthcare part for citizens, but then you also provide jobs, right? So there's that. Jobs at the airport, and then jobs at the botanical garden, jobs at the truck driving and logistics school. So you're not only training people, you're also hiring people to do the training too. So a really big boom for South Fulton and everything you're doing down there. What was it that triggered you to go, okay, these are all the things that I need to do, because that's a lot in one.
And that's not all. I mean,
okay, here I am cutting you off.
No, that's not all. There's a lot more. But I just wanted to highlight a few things, and most of it happens to be located on the south side, but the benefits will accrue throughout the county. And I've been working on just like some of the trade missions that I have taken on behalf of Fulton County. You know, you get criticized. Oh, well, that's a junket. That's BS. It's not a junket, because economic development, particularly nowadays, international economic development, is based upon relationships. How do you think we got the Olympics? I mean, the International Olympic Committee, they didn't just take a dart and throw it, against a board, and then it fell on Atlanta, Georgia. It didn't happen. It's relationships.
That's right.
Relationships. Think about the relationships that Andy Young, our ambassador, had developed through the years, and the rest of us who were, sort of tagging along with him. It's relationships. In that light, I've led 2 or 3 delegations to India and to Korea, and they've all resulted in companies from those countries coming here, expanding their operations, partnering with operations here. And in fact, there are about some 15 Korean companies that have set up operations in Fulton County as a direct result of my trade missions there. And with respect to India, in June of this year, we're going to have 45 Indian companies that are going to be showcasing their goods and services at the Georgia International Convention Center, which is located in College Park. They'll be looking for partners here. They'll be looking for firms that they can invest with. They're going to be looking for people that they can hire. That's economic development. I'm really, really proud of this. And if you've ever driven on I-20 going west, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, there are 4 or 5 hotels there that were the worst in the world. They were used for drug trafficking, prostitution, you name it. Well, the county had the good sense under my leadership. We bought those places, and we've torn them down, and we're now in the process of inviting developers to come in and let us know what they would do to renovate that whole area. That's going to be a mixed-use development at some point, which is going to be a huge, huge boom to live, work, and play areas in South Fulton County. So that's something else that I'm really, really proud of. Then we didn't talk about the jail. Everybody's heard about that's a softball. Here we go.
Daniel's loaded up.
Yeah.
He's ready to hit it out the park.
Yeah. So, but everybody's heard about our jail. It's a tough jail. However, from day one, I never felt that building a brand new jail was the answer. You build a brand new jail, you increase the capacity of it going from 2,500 or thereabouts up to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 beds. What are you going to do? You're going to house more people in that jail. And what happens? When you go in, if you're not a crook when you go in, you'll be a crook when you come out for the most part. I mean, no disrespect to those who work in trying to rehabilitate, but that's what would happen. You have more black and brown men in that jail if you just expand the capacity. I saw it differently, and thank God the majority of the board came around to see it, to my position, so that now we're not building a brand new jail, but we're renovating the Rice Street Jail, and we're also building a freestanding medical facility on that same footprint. That medical facility will be used to treat inmates who have either a substance abuse problem or a mental health problem, and that is about 70% of the inmates in our jail. So I'm very, very proud of that. That is going to cost us, though, about $1.2 billion or $3 billion, but that's compared to a brand new jail, which would have cost $2 to $3 billion, and there was no way that I was going to waste, in my judgment, taxpayers' money on building a country club jail in Fulton County when we had other uses, and then expanding that jail by increasing the number of beds was really not going to help what the problem is. And so we're focusing now on diversion, not taking people to the jail in the first place. So because so many of the people in our jail, they're there for minor infractions, urinating on the street, small amounts of marijuana, spitting on, stuff like that. Why should you be in jail, locked up, away from your family, lose your job for something like, and the stigma of having been in jail? So we have and that's why I introduced this, what I call a 5-point plan. We're going to get a report at our meeting this coming Wednesday on the success that we're having so far with that plan. And a big part of that plan involves using ankle monitors, which our good friend here has been a very, very strong and a good partner, came to work with us and to give us some relief when we really need it. And I am personally forever indebted to you for the job that you did, and look forward to continuing to work with you. And our district attorney, to her credit, when I released that 5-point plan, she immediately sent a memo, and I saw the memo to her people saying, we're going to look at our caseloads and see which ones can immediately be released from that jail and placed on ankle monitors. So that's just one of the things that I'm really also very, very proud that we're doing now. And thanks again.
Oh, absolutely.
Daniel,
Happy to help.
So how did that all come together?
Look, it was a long process over a
I'm
period of time.
I'm asking a oversimplified question.
But it was a process that Fulton County did their proper vetting, and it kind of worked out the way that it did. But we've gotten great results, and the program is in amazing shape, and so we're excited about what's coming forward. So
there you go.
So if we implement my 5-point plan, and that plan will not cost the taxpayers one more penny. It's already stuff that's in place. It's just a matter of those who have the authority doing their jobs, and we can reduce that population overnight. Well, that's probably a little real. Soon, quickly. Yeah. A month or two by, 1,500 people out of that jail, just by implementing the steps that are in that 5-point plan.
Do you mind going through those for people that may not know what the 5-point plan is?
Well, the biggest one is going to be using the ankle monitor.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you got people there who shouldn't be in there in the first place, letting those go.
Yep.
Then we have things like the, when you have to go to court, people forget. just like now when you make a doctor's appointment, what does the doctor's office do?
Senior
They
monitor.
call you.
Yeah.
We're going to do that.
I got a text earlier today.
Exactly. That's what we're going to. They forget. Then there's a failure to appear. Then when they fail to appear, they get locked up. They're in the jail just for failure to appear. So what we do, we're going to implement that. We're going to remind people that you have a problem here. You're due in court, and you need to be here, and we think that's going to help as well. But the biggie, though, is what we have a diversion court, a diversion facility, and that is a facility located in downtown Atlanta. It is funded jointly between or by the city of Atlanta and Fulton County. The city put in $2.5 million a year. The county puts in $2.5 million a year, and it's operated by Grady Hospital and an organization called PAD, P-A-D, PAD. Now, and it is designed to accommodate about 40 people per day. The bad news, though, is that to date, it's not being utilized as it should be. It's making some progress, but it's not where it should be. And I'm working with the police chiefs in Fulton County, all cities within Fulton County, Georgia State, Georgia Tech, all of these, to explain to them that this diversion center is there. And if we utilize it as it was designed, that will further reduce the population at Rice Street and further reduces the need to spend billions on a brand new jail. This is how the diversion center works. When an officer makes or stops someone, arrests someone on the street, the officer is supposed to give them, if it's a minor offense, an option. You can go to Rice Street, go to jail, or right now you can say, take me to the diversion center. You can stay at the diversion center for up to 24 hours, no charges against you. If you need someplace to sleep off or drunk, if you need to get something to eat, if you need clothing, if you need counseling, all of that's there free of charge. So that's how that is supposed to work. And if it works, it's going to substantially reduce the population at our Rice Street jail. And again, further reduce the need for building and spending really a couple of $1 billion plus on a brand new jail. The problem to date, though, is that you got to change the thinking of the police officers there, because their first thought, particularly the older ones, is to take them to Rice Street. And what happens at Rice Street? It fills up the jail with people who shouldn't be there in the first place. So
how do you get the officers more in the mindset of doing that? Is it training? Is it knowledge, just that it exists? What helps that along?
You hit the nail on the head. Those two things, knowledge, training, and we're now thinking about some incentives for them. So look, you do this. When you make an arrest, you got to think. Now, is this a divertible offense? Should this person go to Rice Street, or should this person have the option of going to the diversion center? And we just got to get them to thinking like that. And most of the chiefs now, they're starting to work with us. It's going to take a little time. This is really going to be important during the World Cup. Now, you're going to have people coming here from all over the world. Obviously, people are going to get drunk. Things are going to happen. But
it's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's going to happen. Yeah, and it's unrealistic. If you take somebody to Rice Street, the jail's going to get full. When they get out, it's unrealistic to think that somebody from Madrid, Spain, is going to come back here for a court date. It's not going to happen. So let's just be realistic about that.
No, yeah, definitely.
Send them to our diversion center here. Let them sleep off or drunk, or if it's something very minor, fine them and let them go on their way.
What do you think the World Cup is going to be like as far as impact, in a positive or negative, I suppose, way for Fulton County?
Well, unfortunately, the county has not been that directly involved in it. It's been more of a contract with so I think it's the Sports Council and the City of Atlanta. Now, we'll have a role to play, particularly our public safety people will be involved, and Grady Hospital is obviously Fulton County. So we'll be involved. I think it's a great thing that we have it, and I'm just hopeful, prayerful that things are going to go well. But we as a county government have not been that involved in the planning and preparations for it. But it's right around the corner, so Ready or not, here they come.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're going to try to go to any of the World Cup stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if I have time.
Yeah, right, exactly. Absolutely.
He's a busy man.
And no kidding. This guy, I've never seen anything like it. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
We're going to need him on deck with those ankle.
That's right. That's right. Diverse some folks.
I will be wherever I'm told to be. I will be there.
You get new bracelets to hand out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No kidding. But I think
that's a good idea. We can imprint Fulton County, Georgia on and take them as souvenirs. And I can use those as economic development.
There you go.
Sure, we can make that happen.
I'm telling you, we're solving problems on this show. That's what we do here on Justice Unfiltered.
Right. Always solving.
Just solving all the world's problems as best we can. When you look at people that fall through the cracks, what do you think that they have in common? Like, what should government, especially in the county commission that you lead, be doing differently, do you suppose?
I'm not sure it's government when people fall through the crack. I think you go back to family, upbringing. I mean, we treat, one of our responsibilities is health and human services at the county, and that's one of the differences. People frequently don't know what we do as a county government, don't know what the city does, or the cities, because there are 15 cities within Fulton County, what the cities do. But based upon the Constitution of the state of Georgia, the county and county governments have 4 or 5 specific responsibilities. Number one, when I say public safety, that's the sheriff, the marshals, the criminal justice system, the judges, all that crowd. Health and human services involves Grady Hospital, programs for seniors, our young people, mental health, which is really becoming an issue for us. Our world-class library system, one of the finest in the world, and animal services, although based upon the Constitution of the state of Georgia, we're only responsible for rabies control, but through the years, we've just taken on everything dealing with animals. So all things animal now come to Fulton County. And again, from a facility point of view, we probably have, I think, the finest animal facility in the whole world.
I've used it.
Yeah. I mean,
no, for real, I did. It's been a while back. It's been several years ago. Our little dog got out, and he got picked up by the Fulton County animal catcher, and sure enough, we are looking everywhere. We're looking on Facebook pages. We're looking everywhere. And my wife says, "Did you check Fulton County's site?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." So I went there. There's my little dog holding his number. Oh, wow. Had to go get him out. He was a hardened criminal. Yeah. We had to go bail him out of jail. I was like, dude, what are you doing, man? Why are you running away? And he was just one of that. It was a little pug dog. He's the greatest dog in the world. If he ever got out the door, man, he was gone, lickety split. You were never catching him. And sure enough, we had neighbors looking for him. And we laugh about that to this day. Here's the dog with his picture with his number. It was like something out of a movie.
You are a country boy. I haven't heard that in a while. Lickety split.
Lickety split, yes, sir. That's Northwest Georgia coming out.
Then recently on TV, what's his name? I won't mention the candidate talking about crooked as a dog's hind leg. That just reminds me of back in the day, back in Haddock, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Hey, we come up the same way, sound like.
But the other thing that the county is responsible for, we appraise property, commercial and residential, in our county, and we collect taxes. And another biggie is we run elections. Compared to city governments, what cities do, you got parks and recreation, zoning, police, fire, things of that nature. That's sort of the general distinction between what county government does and what city government does. And on that point, everybody knows of Atlanta, Georgia. But Atlanta is only one of 15 cities within Fulton County. So in the scheme of things, we're the big deal, the big dog, so to speak. But we love our capital city. We love our mayor. But that's just the reality of it. And I challenge anybody, anywhere I go, sometimes when I'm having a cigar at one of my places.
Wind it down a little bit.
Yeah, then I'll challenge people to name anybody who can name all 15 cities. And Nobody's been able to do it.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
And I live in one of them and can't. I could probably name a couple of them, but I don't know if I can get them all. Here's like, do you know how many times I've rolled this out on people? And ain't a soul get it right.
I love it.
Yeah. So we'll take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about those property appraisals because that's something that's been, with the talk of affordability and property, taxes going up and evaluations. How the county is able to help folks out in that situation, if you can at all.
Okay.
So we're talking to Chairman Robb Pitts, part of Justice Unfiltered, with my man Daniel Matalon of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. My name is Tug Cowart. This is Extra 106.3.
Now back to Justice Unfiltered, presented by a Second Chance Bail Bonds on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Welcome back to Justice Unfiltered with Daniel Matalon of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. My name is Tug Cowart, along with our special guest, Robb Pitts, Chairman of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Where we left off, Chairman Pitts was talking about, you're going through all the things that y'all handle, public safety, health and human services, library, animal control. I just took notes.
I'm gonna say, what are you running for?
My life most of the time. But elections and property appraisals, and I know that's been a big discussion. Property valuation, property taxes, and I hear every candidate talking about it. Everybody's talking about how do we make property taxes either more affordable, cheaper? How do we freeze them? Do you have an opinion on what we should be doing, what would be best to do, and what can Fulton County do?
Oh, yeah, I have a
Got quite an opinion on it? Okay.
I got a strong opinion.
All right, I'm going to sit back.
First and foremost, very proud under my leadership, for the first time in the history of Fulton County, we have a AAA bond rating, and that is huge for us. And what that means is that whenever we have to go to market, which is not often, to borrow money, that enables us to borrow money at the lowest possible interest rate.
Y'all got good credit. That's what I hear.
Absolutely. That's absolutely good credit. Now, the other thing about Fulton County, we're in good shape financially. Our reserves are strong, and I put in place a plan some 15 years ago, and even when I wasn't there, the plan still worked, to reduce our millage rate over a period of time. And even when the 2-year period when I was not on the board, the then sitting commissioner still followed that plan, because back at that time, I think our millage rate was right under 14 mills. Today, as I sit here with you guys today, that millage rate is 8.87 mills, where it has been for the last 6 or 7 years. There has not been a millage rate increase in Fulton County for the last 6 or 7 or 8 years. It has remained flat at 8.87 mills. While that is happening, we have still been able to provide the services that we're required to provide based upon the Constitution of the state of Georgia without raising taxes. I am extremely proud of that. And that's one of the other reasons that I'm running again. I want to make sure that we continue to maintain that AAA bond rating, and that we do not raise that millage rate, because there are people in Fulton County, as great a county as we are, who cannot afford it. And that not only means, and that not only refers to people who are on fixed incomes, our seniors, but it's also important for young families starting out. They cannot afford these huge millage rates that some of my opponents want to impose upon the people of Fulton County. There was one who wanted to take it as high as a 14% increase this year, and I said, hell no, not under my watch. That is not going to happen, and I was able to beat her back on it.
Okay,
so
all right.
We're good where we are, and proud of what we're being able to do in Fulton County without raising the millage rate.
There you go.
Let me just add one other thing about the importance of Fulton County. We all know that in Georgia, there are 159 counties. Fulton County is the largest of the 159, most complex. What most people do not know is that within the United States of America, the entire country, there are 3,250 plus counties in the whole country. Your Fulton County, Georgia, is ranked in the top 5 out of 3,250 plus. And that is a big, big, big deal for us, and I am extremely proud of that. Now, there are counties with more people, larger populations than Fulton County. We have 1,250,000 people. There are counties with much larger land area than Fulton County, Georgia. But trust me, we are recognized by our peers, my peers, leadership in these other counties nationwide as being in the top 5 in these United States of America, based upon how we run our government, how we handle our finances, and how we provide the services that we provide without raising the millage rate on our citizens. So I am extremely proud of that, very protective of that. And I guess give you a couple of them. I mean, there were, things are great here. Georgia is growing. Thanks to Governor Kemp. Georgia is growing. People are moving here. Businesses are moving here. And many of the people and most of the businesses that are coming here will have a presence in Fulton County, Georgia. And again, I'm very, very proud of that fact.
Do you have a good relationship with the governor? I mean, you're obviously praising him, so I assume the answer is yes.
Excellent relationship with the governor.
That's
very proud of that as well. You cannot get anything done in politics if you do not have relationships. I get criticized for that. Well, he works too closely with Republicans. How the hell are you going to get anything done if you don't work with people who have the power?
Amen.
Governor Kemp has my cell phone number. I have his cell phone number. If I need anything, I can call him. Even in Washington, before I was banned from the White House. However, that's a story for another day.
Different story, okay.
But we've not suffered so far. Knock on, is this wood? Whatever this
close
is.
Enough.
Knock on it. Any real loss of federal grants that we received. Now, I really believe this is based upon relationships. Relationships are cultivated through the years. That's why I tell people now, when I'm not. Anybody can run for anything at any time, but given where we are as a county, given where we are in this country, this is not the time for on-the-job training for people coming in the office. I have the experience. I've never embarrassed anyone. I have delivered. I've delivered for Fulton County. I've delivered for the city of Atlanta. I've delivered for the state of Georgia. In the sense that I get, people understand that. They respect that. This is the time for committed, for capable, for experienced and tested leadership. I've been there, I've done it, and people know that.
Chairman Pitts, as we wrap up here, how do folks find you so they can learn more about your campaign, learn more about what you're doing?
Well, RobbPitts.com is it. Robb Pitts, ROBB.com. ROBB.com. Or call me up. I have an open door policy, and my staff, they go nuts every time I say that. But you don't even need an appointment to see me. You just walk in.
You just roll up in there.
That's right. So here I am.
Yes,
I'm looking
Chairman Pitts, I got some things I need to talk about.
Yeah, I'm looking for the man from Haddock, Georgia.
There you go. You found him here on Justice Unfiltered. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Chairman Pitts, wish you nothing but the best of luck and continued success.
Thank you so much. Great to be with you.
Yeah.
Another good old Georgia boy.
Yes, sir. How about him? We doing all right. Daniel, thank you so much for being here and bringing Chairman Pitts in and making sure that we have the platform here at Justice Unfiltered. So for Chairman Pitts and Daniel Matalon, CEO of Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring, my name is Doug Cowart. This is Extra 106.3.
This is an Extra 106.3 podcast. To hear more live and local content like this, tune into 106.3 FM or download the Extra 106.3 app.